Hello everyone, how's it going? Red Bones McGee. This is a response to your video, The Pastor is Arrested for Praying at the White House, Obama Mocks Jesus Christ. I didn't really want to address the pastors being arrested because I really don't care if they are arrested. I don't know the details, you know, probably unjust, probably for a stupid reason. What I did want to address is your opinion on how people treat your faith, your Bible, and how offended you are by it and how upset it makes you. First of all, I wanted to start out by saying when you were pronouncing the word as you pronounced it, Jumama, it's Juma. It's means Friday. It's their holy day. Um, I just found it funny that you take such offense to other people talking bad about your book, but you'll not even take the time to pronounce a word correctly. Um, what I find very, to me, offensive about this video is that you seem to have a problem with Obama acknowledging the Islamic faith and in some way taking part in it. I have a question for you. What would be so wrong if he was a Muslim? Why would that be a problem? You see, you, like many people, have this idea that this nation is a Christian nation. Now, just because the founding fathers uh, and the people who first founded this nation were primarily Christian, although a lot of looking into history shows that a lot of our founding fathers were actually not Christians, but that's a whole nother um, video, I guess. Um, but what I find is funny is that so our nation was primarily Christian when it began, which Christianity then is a lot different than it is now. That doesn't mean that in the present day we are a Christian nation. You see, we are a free nation. We are a nation of people that are allowed to choose what they believe, and that means there are Muslims, Christians, Jews, Buddhists. There are uh, Wiccans. There are all kinds of faiths and religions, and they all deserve the same kind of um, respect and equality in this country that the other does. Uh, if if Islamic people want to hold, their a little prayer service or whatever they're doing, then that should never be a problem. As it shouldn't have been a problem for the preachers to pray in front of the White House for whatever reason they were removed. Um, I guess I'd have to look into that. I'm not against people believing in any certain faith, although I will say that to criticize Obama for reading out of the Bible, uh, particularly passages that a lot of people like to overlook today, um, it was wrong of you to criticize him for that because it's honest. He is being honest about that. Um, the Christian Bible is just as violent as the Quran is. Uh, the Quran, the Christian Bible, as well as the Torah, they all contain the Old Testament, what we call the Old Testament. Uh, it's a very violent book. Um, it's got human sacrifice. It's got the raping of young girls. Um, it's got all kinds of war, genocide, infanticide, and all of these things, slavery, all of these things were condoned by God. Uh, Even the New Testament condones slavery. So to criticize Obama, you say that anyone who chooses to read these parts of the Bible, atheists or people who bash Christianity, they like to read these parts of the Bible. It's the Bible. It's in the Bible. It's your book that you believe in. It's there. So don't be offended because they read from it. It's part of your faith. You have to believe in it, and you have to believe that those things are okay because God believed those things were okay, or God said they were okay. I personally don't think they were okay. I think that it's uh, very sickening and very, just very wrong to try to make excuses for why those things were okay. Now, we know that the Bible was written, long ago, a completely different culture, different time, where those things were considered to be acceptable. But in today's society, in this free nation, we are much more advanced. We are much more um, tolerant and understanding of the natural world and of society of people, and we don't have to stoop to those lows that they did back then. Back in those days, it was okay. Back in those days, they believed that that was the right thing to do. That's all good and fine, but today it's not. And people who try to make excuses for why it was okay, they just need to wake up and just admit that those things weren't okay. We don't live in that day anymore. We don't go and hack people's arms and legs off. We don't pull out their eyes. We don't stone our children. We don't let our daughters be raped. We don't sacrifice our daughters. We don't take over whole nations and kill all the young men and all the women and keep the virgins for ourselves. You know, we're past that. We've grown past that. So with Obama reading out of the Bible, he is correct in doing so. This nation is not a Christian nation. Our laws should not be based on things from the Bible, nor should it be based on anything from the Quran or any other religious book, because we're beyond that. We're more advanced than that. We're smarter than that now. I'm not trying to defend Islam and say that it's a peaceful religion. I don't believe any religion is inherently peaceful. Well, there are some, but if I'm talking about Christianity, Islam, and the Jewish religion, none of those are peaceful religions. All of those religions encompass and condone many violent acts, as do they teach us many merciful acts and many peaceful acts. They do both. They tell us in many ways how to love and how to show mercy. All three religions are full of those good stories. They all teach us to do good things like that, but they also all teach us to be violent in some cases. In most cases, it's very unjustifiable. The violence is just wrong. So yes, the Quran is a violent book. Islam could be called a violent religion. It could also be called a peaceful religion. Christianity is called a peaceful religion, but it could also be a violent religion, as history has shown us. So I would just like to see you pay more respect to other religions if you yourself want that same respect for yours. Just because you don't believe in another religion doesn't make it wrong for our president or anybody else to believe in it. Like I said, this is not a Christian nation. It's a nation of free people. It should be called a free nation, and that's it. It should be a nation of the free, and that is all. It shouldn't be for anything more. So I just hope that in the future you will open your eyes a little bit more and show a little more respect to other people if you yourself would like that same respect. You can reply to this if you want. I know I'm replying to a rather old video, but I'm kind of new to YouTube, or at least to making videos, and I just saw this one, and I wanted to let you know how kind of hypocritical you were being. Thanks for listening.